a series of events that happened during the Battle of the Somme. The 5 months of horror took place from the 1st of July 1916 to the 19th of November 1916, with the British, French and German battling it out on a 15-mile front. It was an attempt to relieve French at Verdun and weaken the German army, but the Allies were unable to break through, with over 1 million dead and wounded either side. On the 1st of July, the battle started, with the Allies' 18-pounder field guns bombarding the German trenches for 7 days and sending over 100,000 men to attack the German lines. The Allies' cannons fired 8-kilogram projectiles, which were very loud and extremely dangerous. 19,240 soldiers lost their lives that day, and this wasn't helped by the German machine gun mowing down countless number of soldiers instantly. Oh, and we have an update. On the 2nd of July, the Brits have gained 3 miles of territory. This has taken 2 weeks, with small attacks in place in preparation for a large assault. And it has happened! 2 days later, the British Army have engaged in a brutal hand-to-hand combat to try and take Mametz Wood. 25,000 casualties are either dead or wounded, but the Germans have been forced to redeploy guns and men to reinforce. Even though the papers and the government have tried to put a positive spin on the big push, the casualty list told an extremely different story. The Generals, Kitchener's, Pals battalions were hit hardest, along with many others like the 11th East Lancashire. On July 1st, 720 men went into action, and 584 of those were casualties. People back at home wore black armbands to commemorate those who had lost their lives. Now the Brits are intending to attack the Germans with a night assault to try and secure more land. Everything mostly went to plan, and by deploying 22,000 troops at dawn, the enemy were taken by surprise, and the British gained 5.4 kilometres of territory. The next day, Germans took place in a horrific siege to overthrow the 3,000 soldiers in the 1st African Brigade. The Germans unleashed fierce machine gun artillery, and the terrible weather turned the mud into a wet and muddy graveyard. Only 143 men were left standing. Welcome back to War Archive News. It is now the 10th of August, and a film has been released about the Somme containing real footage captured by a daring camera crew. The camera crew's work has paid off though. The film broke box office records, with nearly half the population going to see the film. The blockbuster's most powerful scene was when it depicted British soldiers going over to face Germans. This had an incredible impact on the British public. And a quick update for you now. On the 29th of August, the Germans had suffered 250,000 casualties, and German leaders believe it is over. On the 15th of September, the British deployed a new piece of technology at the Battle of the Flers Courcelette. The tank. Charlie Heward is there. Yes, thank you Toby in the studio. Charlie Heward, roving reporter here. You should have seen the size of those monsters. They were powering through no man's land with ease. It could kill an entire squadron with one blast. On the 15th of September 1916, at the Battle of Flers Courcelette, the British unleashed 36 Mark I tanks, but only 15 made it to the front line because all the others broke down. They took High Wood but were exhausted and had sustained 29,000 casualties. Oh, and Charlie, I can hear this rumbling noise in the background. Ah yes, that is the planes you can hear. From the start of the war, the British pilots had dominated the skies, but the Germans deployed new planes and new tactics. The Fokker D2, the Halberstadt and the Albatros D1 and D2 outclassed their British enemies. We could no longer compete with the Germans, but they did launch a huge infantry attack, sending thousands of soldiers down in parachutes, but the French machine guns stopped them in their tracks. is now the 25th of September 1916 and Allied victory is in sight. We gain Morville and Thiepval Ridge. At Morville, the British Army mastered the creeping barrage tactic, which is where artillery was fired just in front of them to ease their progress. On the 27th of September, the British 18th Division captured a key German defensive point, Thiepval Fortress Village. However, the next day, Germans bombarded the trenches with a big air raid. In November 1916, the public put up wooden tablets that inscribed the names of fallen soldiers decorated with a cross. Queen Mary visited some shrines the following year, and this was the beginning of the war commemorations. On 13th of November, the last battle took place on the Somme at the River Anker. The creeping barrage was deployed with great success, and 2 divisions captured 7,000 German prisoners. The French gave up trying to capture Saint-Pierre-Vaast as winter weather set in. In 141 days, the British had only advanced 7 miles and failed to break through the German lines. There had been heavy losses on both sides, but especially the Germans, who had strategically retreated to Hindenburg Line. That's all from War Archives today. Thanks for joining us.
Is that in your outtakes?
What? What, you filming?
Yeah.
I didn't realise! Are you filming?
Yeah.
Oh. My nose tanks! Boo boo!